start of this presser that, or at the very start of this conference, that it was important to really open up the process, have members input. Are we going to see a similar open amendment process when HR 1 comes to the floor? And another thing you said in that first presser is that you guys will be talking about AUMF over the next 3 days. I'm wondering if there any decision as to whether or not the bill the Senate's voting on today will be taken up in the House.
Perfect. Can I first answer your question that will help probably for the rest of the term, kind of my philosophy, okay? In this Congress and in this conference, we had this discussion about half the conference has never served in the majority. The other half has served in the majority before, but it was a different type of majority. It was a much bigger majority. I learned this maybe the hard way, going through the speaker race and others. We have to retool and rethink, okay? So in most Congresses, when you have a big majority, you watch what the Democrats did. They just changed all the rules. Like, you didn't have to show up. Bills don't have to go through committee. And all the bills are written with the speaker. That doesn't sustain well. That's not good policy. So we opened the process back up, and we've done all that. But we have to front load everything, right? So it's not where committees just work and then, okay, we're going to get it on the floor, and people are just going to then change with their amendments. What we try to do now is work all that out at the beginning, okay? So we have, especially in bills such as this, with the commitment to America, we spent the last year, and it wasn't just Bruce sitting down. We had a whole task force. They traveled to different places of the country. So we've had all that input already in the process. We walk through it. There'll be amendments, but we've had this very open process. So especially on commitment to America ideas, they've all been there. Now, when you ask me questions about bills in the Senate, I want you to believe and understand this principle and philosophy. Just because a bill passes in the Senate, I know it's unbelievable something passes over there, doesn't mean it comes directly to the floor. I believe in the process. I think we've got to get back to the foundation the way Congress and Senate was designed, right? They have ideas, they pass something, we pass something, we go to conference and work it out. The AUMF, it's something we both have talked about a long time. It'll have to go through committee. But what I look at, and I was trying to look at what did the Senate pass, I think it has a good chance of, one, getting through the committee and getting through the floor. But don't preconceive any idea. And one thing you got to know in principle, too, we're not taking up an omnibus. It's not going to happen. We got to get back to doing the work that the American people expect us to do. Yes, ma'am.
Yesterday, Chairman McCall mentioned that any AUMF would be a repeal in the place. Is that where you stand?
Well, the thing you have to understand, there's more than one AUMF, right? There's one dealing with Iraq, that's the one they repealed, and then there's a worldwide one on terrorism that they kept. I always have a concern, and especially when you deal with an AUMF and others. I was not here to vote on either of the creation of those, but you're 20 years into this now. I think it's very healthy that we take this up and look at this. I still want to have the ability. I watch the world is not a safe place. I still want to take actions if there is a terrorist anywhere around the world. And if we're keeping that one AUMF and we're removing another one, that's personally where I believe I am. So I want to see and allow this to go through committee, and I think it would be probably modernizing a term someone would see, but adapting. And you know, we have a lot of members, which is so unique from when the AUMF were first voted on. When that decision was made, there's a lot of people sitting in Congress that went to defend us under that AUMF, and I think they should have a say in the process. Yes, sir.
Personally, you do support, in principle, repealing those two AUMFs.
Not both. I support in keeping the worldwide AUMF so there's action that can be taken if there's a terrorist anywhere in the world. But Iraq, we're 20 years into it. I don't have a problem repealing that. Yeah. Yeah. But one provides the ability of terrorism around.